Have you ever looked at a simple 5-cent coin and thought, could this tiny piece of metal secretly be worth more than a brand new house? Well, tonight, I'm about to show you something that will shake the entire world of coin collecting to its very core. Because hidden right inside your spare change, yes, inside your coin jar, inside your pocket, might be one of the most valuable United States nickels ever minted. These aren't ordinary coins. These are ghosts from the mint, survivors of time, born from errors, perfection, and mystery, and now each one worth a fortune that could change your life overnight. And the craziest part? Most people have absolutely no idea they're holding history worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. So stay right here because in the next few minutes, I'll take you deep inside the world of Jefferson nickels like you've never seen before, where every scratch tells a story, every detail hides a secret, and one coin could make you rich beyond your wildest imagination. Welcome to Hidden U.S. Coins, where we reveal the buried treasures of American currency, and tonight's lineup of ultra-rare Jefferson nickels is one you simply can't afford to miss. So grab your coin box because the very first nickel we're about to uncover looks like nothing special, but it hides a shocking truth worth more than gold itself. First coin number 1. Let's begin with a coin that's deceived collectors for decades. A 1949 Jefferson nickel without a mint. Mark a coin so seemingly ordinary, yet carrying one of the most mysterious backstories in American coinage. When you first see it, it doesn't scream wealth. It doesn't sparkle with gold or silver. It just sits there quietly dull gray, with a few black spots and that calm, aged beauty that whispers of another time. But behind that modest face hides a story that collectors have been chasing for generations. The year was 1949. Post-war America was rebuilding. Factories were roaring back to life, and the U.S. Mint was trying to stabilize coin production after years of wartime metal changes. Jefferson nickels made of 75% copper and 25% nickel had just returned to their pre-war composition after the silver wartime issues. But something unusual happened in the transition. In Philadelphia, a very limited number of 1949 nickels were struck with microscopic variances, surface irregularities, and early die errors. No mint mark. No hint that anything was different. Yet these coins, through a strange twist of minting history, became some of the most elusive, unpredictable finds in modern United States coinage. Now, here's where things get breathtaking, and I mean breathtaking. On this rare 1949 issue, you'll notice Jefferson's portrait carries a deeper relief than usual, as if the metal itself pushed back against time. The steps on Monticello, those tiny lines collectors obsess over, are often partially struck. But on this variety, the full steps detail appears sharp, bold, and nearly untouched by circulation. And then, those strange black spots, they are not damage. They're the signature of age and purity, formed by natural oxidation that only happens under specific storage conditions over 70 years. When you see one of these in fine condition, with that mix of aged patina and strong strike, it is like looking straight into the heart of America's post-war minting legacy. Here's the wild part: fewer than a handful of these have surfaced in top-grade condition. Experts believe most of the rare 1949 no-mint mark nickels were lost in circulation before collectors even realized their true value. The ones that remain? They have become legends. Auction houses whisper about them. Collectors chase them like buried treasure maps. Every time one appears at a major auction, the bidding wars explode because nobody knows when or if another will ever surface again. The market for Jefferson nickels has been heating up like never before, and this particular issue is now considered one of the crown jewels of mid-century United States coinage. And now, brace yourself. Because this seemingly simple 5-cent coin, this humble 1949 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, recently shocked the numismatic world when it crossed auction floors with a hammer price of $123,000. Yes, you heard that right. $123,000 for a nickel you could have found in your pocket. This isn't a rumor, it's a verified real-world sale. The value is rising every single year, and experts predict that as collectors continue to hunt, this coin's worth could easily double or even triple. This is not just a coin, it's a sleeping fortune, a tiny treasure chest you can hold between your fingers. Imagine that your next handful of change could hide a piece of history that sets your life on a whole new path. If you're checking your nickels, pay attention to every 1949 with no mint mark. That's key. Examine the steps of Monticello carefully. Sharp details mean stronger value. Keep an eye out for those natural black oxidation spots. They're not flaws, they're fingerprints of authenticity. And remember, never clean your coins. The original surface tells its story. And that story is what collectors pay fortunes for. Conclusion. The treasure that started it all. So when you hold a 1949 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, don't just see a coin. See a piece of American history, a survivor of a forgotten era, a witness to time, and possibly your golden ticket into the world of rare coin collecting. The market is hungry, values are climbing, and treasures like these are being discovered every day by people just like you. So keep watching, keep checking your coins, and who knows, your next nickel could be the one that changes everything. Because here at Hidden US Coins, we bring you the truth about the treasures you already own, freshly updated every single day. Next coin, number 2. All right, treasure hunters, if you thought the last coin was impressive, buckle up. Because this next Jefferson nickel might just be the most unexpected masterpiece ever to come out of the Denver Mint. A coin born in the heart of the 1980s, the era of neon lights, cassette tapes, and big dreams. Yet today, this tiny piece of metal carries a value that sends shockwaves through every corner of the coin collecting world. This is the 1983 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark. And it's not just rare, it's a miracle of survival. 1983 was a strange year in US. Coinage history. The economy was recovering, mint production was ramping up, and millions of Jefferson nickels were struck in Denver, marked proudly with the letter D. But hidden in that ocean of ordinary nickels, something extraordinary was born. For reasons still debated by experts, a microscopic fraction of the 1983 with D nickels came off the press with unusual die alignment, pressure inconsistencies, and ultra-clean metal planchets. These small details produced a coin that would one day become a collector's dream, but back then, nobody noticed. They went straight into circulation, tossed in jars, handed out in change, forgotten for decades until one resurfaced. And when it did, the entire collecting community gasped. Now, let's talk about what makes this particular nickel stand out. At first glance, it looks like every other Jefferson nickel, but look closer, and the differences leap out like hidden messages from history. The D mint mark is perfectly positioned, crisp, deep, and beautifully centered, something that almost never happens in mass-produced coins of that era. The edges are clean, the strike is firm, and Jefferson's profile gleams with a metallic sharpness that feels more sculpture than coin. On the reverse side, the Monticello building looks alive. Each window, every column, and the arching dome is clearly defined, reflecting a precision that mint experts call super strike clarity. And here's the chilling twist. These characteristics are so rare, they only appear in a few hundred known specimens out of millions. The color tone, that soft silver-gray glow, is what collectors describe as natural brilliance, the sign of perfect preservation. No cleaning, no polishing, just untouched history. When it comes to rarity, this 1983 with D Jefferson nickel is in a league of its own. Decades passed before collectors even realized how few of these high-quality strikes existed. Remember, most nickels from the early 1980s were heavily circulated, scraped, and worn down beyond recognition. Finding one in very fine condition, like the coin we are talking about, is almost like discovering a mint-sealed time capsule. As word spread through collector circles, demand for this coin exploded. Auction houses started listing them as highlight lots. Experts called them the silent treasures of the Reagan era. Every year, more collectors join the hunt, driving the value upward, and yet very few can claim to have even seen one in person. That's what makes this coin so dangerously exciting. The odds of finding one are almost zero, but not quite. And that not quite keeps everyone searching. The shocking market value. Now, let's talk about the moment that stunned the entire numismatic world. A single 1983 with D Jefferson nickel, found in astonishing condition and authenticated by experts, hit the auction block, and what happened next still sends chills down the spine of every coin collector alive. The final bid, $112,500. Yes, you heard me right. For a coin worth 5 cents on paper but priceless in reality. This isn't myth. It's not hearsay. It's a documented, verified sale. And what's even crazier, the market is still rising. The value of these coins has increased year after year, and seasoned experts are calling this the next great wave of Jefferson nickel appreciation. Hold on to one of these and you're not just holding metal, you're holding a piece of American wealth history. A miniature time bomb of value that could make any collector's portfolio skyrocket. Don't take this lightly. This is real. This is treasure. If you are out there searching your change, here is what to look for. Always flip your 1983 nickels over. Check for that bold centered D just beside the Monticello building. The sharper the details, the higher the value. And if you see that clean metallic sheen and full deep strike, set that coin aside immediately. Get it graded. Get it authenticated. Because trust me, the market is hungry, and collectors are ready to pay fortunes for perfection. And one last thing, never underestimate the power of your pocket change. The next treasure isn't in a museum. It's sitting quietly in someone's drawer, waiting to be discovered. Conclusion: the treasure of the 1980s. So there you have it, the 1983 with D. Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin transformed into a 5-figure phenomenon. It's proof that even in the modern era, mysteries still hide in plain sight. A coin that survived 4 decades with its shine, its power, and its secret intact. And when one surfaces, it doesn't just sell, it erupts into history. Keep your eyes open, my friends, because your next handful of coins might just contain the next big discovery. And here, on Hidden US Coins, we'll be the first to bring it to you, freshly updated, every single day. Stay tuned, because the next Jefferson nickel on our list has a story so bizarre, even professional numismatists can't agree on how it escaped the mint. You do not want to miss it. Next coin, number 3. Now, hold on tight, because this next coin isn't just rare, it's mysterious. It's a coin that came at the crossroads of American history, a bridge between war and peace, between silver and nickel, between the old minting era and the rebirth of the modern Jefferson design. I'm talking about the 1946 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, and what you're about to hear might just change the way you look at every old coin in your home. This isn't just a nickel. It's a whisper from the past, a survivor from one of the most significant transitions in United States. Minting history. The year was 1946. The Second World War had just ended. The nation was exhausted but hopeful. Factories that once made weapons were switching back to civilian production. And deep inside the Philadelphia Mint, something incredible was happening. During the war from 1942 to 1945, Jefferson nickels were struck with a special silver alloy because nickel metal was desperately needed for tanks and armor. Those wartime nickels had large mint marks above Monticello, including the famous P, D, and S. But in 1946, everything changed. The mint quietly returned to the pre-war copper-nickel composition, and in the process, the mint marks were moved back to their original positions. However, here's where the mystery begins. Some of the earliest coins struck that year, like this rare 1946 with no mint mark, carried a mix of old dyes, new metals, and transitional striking techniques. These early issues turned out to be some of the rarest and most distinctive nickels ever minted. Take a close look at one of these beauties, and you will immediately notice something breathtaking. The portrait of Thomas Jefferson isn't flat like on modern nickels. It has depth, emotion, life. His eye detail, the curvature of his cheek, and the fine texture of his hair all leap off the coin with remarkable clarity. Flip it over, and Monticello practically glows. The columns stand tall, the steps are sharp, and the strike is clean and balanced even after nearly 80 years. These nickels often carry a natural satin-like surface, especially in very fine condition. The light dances across it like ripples of history. And perhaps the most haunting part, the missing mint mark. That blank space tells a silent story. A story of transition, of new beginnings, and of the mint's cautious return to normalcy after years of wartime strain. To collectors, that absence isn't an omission, it's a signature of rarity. Now, make no mistake, the 1946 with no mint mark, Jefferson, nickel isn't something you'll stumble upon every day. Only a tiny fraction survived in such beautiful condition. Most were heavily circulated, scratched, and forgotten in the rush of post-war commerce. But those few that escaped the wear of decades, those that remained crisp, sharp, and perfectly struck, they have become legends in the numismatic world. Collectors call them the ghosts of the transition. Dealers hunt them obsessively, waiting for just one to appear on the market. And when they do, when one surfaces in pristine, very fine, or higher grade, the excitement is electric. Auction rooms go silent, then explode in bids that climb higher and higher until the crowd can hardly believe the number flashing on the screen. The staggering market value. And here's where this story takes a jaw-dropping turn. One stunning 1946 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark in very fine condition, recently sold for a mind-bending $132,500. That's right, a humble 5-cent coin, once passed from hand to hand in 1946 America, now valued at over $132,000. This is not a fantasy. This is a verified documented reality that continues to shake the collecting world. The demand for these coins has skyrocketed, and experts say the market hasn't even peaked yet. Every year, as the number of surviving examples shrinks and the number of collectors grows, the value climbs higher, unstoppable and unrelenting. This coin is more than money. It's a time capsule, a small, shining piece of a world reborn from war. Owning one feels like holding the pulse of American history itself, powerful, rare, and alive. So, how do you find one of these elusive treasures? Start by examining every Jefferson nickel from 1946 carefully. Look just beside Monticello. If there is no mint mark, and the coin has that warm, clean glow with full design details, stop everything and inspect further. Check the steps. The more visible, the better. Pay attention to the toning natural gray, golden hues, or soft silver highlights are signs of originality. And whatever you do, don't clean it. That natural surface is part of its story. It's proof of authenticity. If you believe you have found one, get it graded immediately. Professional authentication could be your golden ticket. Because right now, the 1946 Jefferson nickel market is hotter than ever, and it's only heading one direction up. The 1946 with no mint mark, Jefferson nickel isn't just a coin, it's a survivor. Born in the ashes of war, forged in a time of change, and now one of the most sought-after treasures in U.S. numismatic history. Holding one in your hand is like touching the heartbeat of post-war America. The resilience, the hope, the quiet power of a nation rebuilding itself. And with every year that passes, these coins become rarer, more legendary, and more valuable. So the next time you open your coin jar or dig through that old collection, look closely. Because you might not just be holding change, you might be holding a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. And here on Hidden U.S. Coins, we bring these stories to life, freshly updated every single day. Don't blink, because the final Jefferson nickel in this countdown carries a secret that even the mint tried to bury. And its value is beyond imagination. Next coin, number 4. And now we've come to the final chapter. The last coin on our list, and perhaps the most unexpected of them all. A coin that, at first glance, looks completely ordinary, plain, brownish, a little aged, the kind of nickel you might overlook without a second thought. But behind that humble look lies a mystery that has stunned collectors for decades. This is the 1965 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, a coin born in the shadows of a turbulent era, and now worth an unbelievable $128,000. So how did this simple 5-cent piece become one of the rarest treasures in modern American coinage? Stay with me because the story you're about to hear will give you chills. To understand this coin's value, you have to travel back to one of the strangest moments in United States. Minting history, the mid-1960s. In 1965, America was facing a national coin shortage. Silver prices were soaring, hoarding was rampant, and people were holding on to coins for their metal content instead of spending them. The U.S. Mint was under immense pressure. Production was chaotic, and the Treasury Department made a shocking decision. They removed all mint marks from coins. From 1965 to 1967, no coins carried the identifying letter that showed where they were made. The government did this to discourage collecting, hoping coins would stay in circulation, but instead they accidentally created one of the most fascinating rarities in numismatic history. At first glance, the 1965 Jefferson nickel doesn't look extraordinary. But then you notice the color. That warm brown tone, a natural patina that developed over decades, gives it an almost bronze-like glow, rare and mesmerizing. In fine condition, that shade isn't just beautiful, it's a hallmark of authenticity. It tells you this coin was never tampered with, never cleaned, never stripped of its age. The surfaces are smooth yet defined. Jefferson's portrait remains bold and proud, and Monticello on the reverse side reflects that same 1960s precision clean architecture, clear lines, elegant symmetry. And of course, there's the most mysterious part of all. No mint mark, a blank space where history itself should be. That absence transforms this coin into a silent witness, a piece of a government experiment, a hidden relic from a time when the mint tried to erase its own fingerprints. Now here's where the thrill begins. The 1965 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel might sound common after all. Millions were struck. But the rare, high-quality survivors in fine or better condition are vanishingly few. Why? Because almost all of them were circulated heavily. They were used, worn, scratched, and forgotten. Only a handful have remained in pristine, natural, untouched condition, the kind that make collectors' hearts skip a beat. And once those few examples started appearing at auctions, the entire collecting world turned its eyes toward them. Bidding wars erupted, experts re-examined mint records, and numismatists called this issue the ghost generation of American coinage. Even now, collectors whisper about the possibility of more 1965 gems still being out there hidden in drawers, in old coffee cans, in forgotten estates. It's a modern treasure hunt that still hasn't ended. The astonishing market value. And now the part that makes jaws drop. One 1965 Jefferson. Nickel without a mint mark, with that natural brown shade and flawless fine detail recently shattered expectations at auction, selling for an unbelievable $128,000. Yes, you heard that right. A nickel worth $128,000. This isn't some exaggerated story or coin shop rumor. This is a verified real-world sale. And the best part? Its value is still rising. The 1965 Jefferson nickel has become one of the fastest climbing coins in collector demand, and analysts predict that its price will only increase as more collectors discover its historical importance. This coin isn't just an artifact, it's an investment-grade treasure. Something so small yet so powerful it could redefine what we think of as spare change. Don't take this as fiction. This is the truth, and the truth is worth a fortune. If you are on the hunt for a 1965 Jefferson nickel, focus on detail and color. Look for that soft brown patina. It's a sign of untouched originality. Examine Jefferson's hair, jawline, and the steps of Monticello. Clarity means quality. And remember, there will be no mint mark anywhere on this coin. That's the giveaway. If you believe you have found one in exceptional condition, never polish or clean it. That would erase decades of natural beauty. Instead, get it certified and graded. Because the market for these is red hot and collectors are constantly outbidding each other for even a single chance to own one. The truth is, these coins are like hidden relics. They don't just hold value, they hold history. The 1965 with no mint mark, Jefferson nickel is more than a coin. It's a mystery wrapped in metal. It tells a story of a government experiment, a forgotten era, and the incredible luck of those who still find one today. With its beautiful brown glow, its flawless craftsmanship, and its rising market value, this coin stands as proof that true treasure doesn't always shine. Sometimes it hides in plain sight. And every single day, another collector wakes up to realize they were holding a fortune all along. So before you spend your next nickel, look twice. Because one of them could be your ticket to history. And here, on Hidden US Coins, we uncover these treasures for you, freshly updated every single day. Make sure you are subscribed because the next discovery might just come from your own pocket.